everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Minneapolis City Council member Soren Stevenson. Council member, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you taking the time today, and I can only imagine how busy you must be because all eyes have been on your city, Minneapolis, as well as the entire state of Minnesota for the past month. We've seen a really large immigration enforcement operation underway in the state since late last year, and that has been met with some significant backlash. Within the last week, though, the world witnessed the shooting death of yet another protester, Alex Pretti, by federal agents. And since then, President Trump has said that he wants to see de-escalation in the city. State and local leaders have said that they've had positive or productive conversations with the president. And border czar Tom Homan is now in Minneapolis, and he came in and promised to make the operation there safer. You represent the community where Alex Pretti lived, so I'm really curious, what is the mood right now in Minneapolis?
I actually no, it's not matching what officials are saying. The mood in Minneapolis, we're heartbroken. We're so deeply saddened by the murder of our neighbors, both Alex Pretti and Renee Good, who were both observers, not protesters, which I think is important to note. But we are so activated and so energized. This is almost the worst thing we could imagine happening to our city, but we're not rolling over. We are going to fight this until the day they leave, and we're going to win.
How do you think that you're going to win? What does a win look like for you?
Well, a win looks like, A, we want our neighbors back. We want our community stitched back together, and we want ICE out now. It is unacceptable what's happening. They say they're enforcing the law, but they're brutalizing our communities. They're terrorizing us. We have patrols around schools because it's not safe to send your children to school right now because of the federal government. This is insanity, and we want it to end now.
I know you're saying ICE out. I've talked to another member of city council. I've talked to a state senator, and both of them said, agreed with you, where the tone of what the administration, what officials are saying is not matching what they're seeing on the ground. They're not seeing this change in ICE's behavior on the ground. Is that what you're seeing too? Has there been a change in any ICE agent's behavior that you've seen, that you've witnessed since the shooting death of Alex Pretti?
Well, let me just tell you about this that happened yesterday. I went to an elementary school in my ward. I had just pre-planned to show up for one of these patrols. And just before I got there, ICE had followed somebody home from work, crashed into their car, and then chased this person with guns right next to this elementary school. Then, once this person got away, thankfully, they went back and they stole his car and drove away in his car. Then they called his wife from his cell phone that was in the car, pretending to be a shopkeeper to lure her out of the house. This is not de-escalation. This is criminal behavior happening from the federal government.
Did you see anything that led up to that encounter, that interaction? I mean, what was the lead up there? Why were they going after that person?
So I showed up just after all of this had happened. I've seen the video from people who were there first, but this person was being targeted by ICE. They followed him home from work, and then went right in front of his house. They crashed into his car and began this insane series of events.
And I'm sure ICE and border czar Tom Homan said that he is doing targeted enforcement operations. In your view, is that a targeted enforcement operation? Was that person suspected of being an undocumented immigrant?
You know, I don't know who this person is, and I'm not going to get too deep into it for their safety. But yeah, sure, it's targeted to follow someone home. But is that right? Is it right to target someone who's coming home from work to their family? Is this a good thing? Is this what we want out of America in order for our country to be a place where the government follows you home and then tries to steal you away? This is so un-American. So whether it's targeted or not doesn't make it right. It's the way that they're acting. It's the trampling of our basic rights as Americans.
And you mentioned this at the top of the conversation, that there's a difference between protester and observer. You mentioned that you were on patrol. What exactly does that mean when you're saying there's these patrols? What does that really look like?
So in this case, there are mostly parents and community members who stand outside of the school to make sure that ICE is not coming into the school and taking children. or coming onto school grounds when they're at recess and taking children. Our schools are under so much pressure. The teachers and educators are under so much pressure to not only teach in these times, but also to protect the kids from abduction, as well as some of them who are immigrants themselves. And so these patrols, these observers, what it is it's neighbors looking out for other neighbors. We're just all across the city, there's just regular people who are outside watching, outside making sure that ICE doesn't come onto their block. And if they do, blowing whistles, letting people know, hey, ICE is here. And if you're in danger, you need to stay safe. You need to be hidden. And so, I mean, just listen to what I'm saying. This is the craziest, most un-American thing you can think, that neighbors have to watch out to keep people safe from the federal government. This is absurdity, and it needs to end right now.
I'm wondering, what is the mood amongst the immigrant communities in Minneapolis right now? I mean, what is your message to them?
They're terrified. They're absolutely terrified. My message to them is we're trying. We're trying everything we can. And we're in this together. We're not going to give up. We're not going to, the Trump administration has sent quote unquote demands to Minneapolis and Minnesota, saying just hand them over and we'll leave. We're not doing that. We care about our neighbors. We love our neighbors. We're not going to give people up. We want a safe and thriving community, and we're going to have it. And we're going to make sure that our immigrant neighbors can have it too.
And where do you see the de-escalation, the off-ramp here? Because Board Czar Tom Homan, he also said in a press conference yesterday, he's going to draw down their CBP as well as ICE. They're planning this drawdown. Do you want to see that drawdown? I know you said ICE out to zero, and realistically, is that going to happen? Do you think, based on what you're seeing from the administration, do you think that's going to happen?
I can't determine what the Trump administration is going to do in any one moment. They're chaotic people and they do chaotic things. But yeah, we want to see them gone. We want to see them all gone. We don't need secret police here in Minneapolis. We don't need secret police anywhere in America. So yeah, they need to leave. The entire situation can be de-escalated and peace can be had when they leave. And we will go back to living a peaceful, happy, thriving existence without them.
Something that shocked Democrats and Republicans alike since the shooting death of Alex Pretti was they were listening to things that the Trump administration were saying about the death. They were watching the video from multiple angles with their own eyes, and the two weren't matching, right? They called Alex Pretti a would-be assassin. They called him a domestic terrorist. That's not what we were seeing on any angle in any of those videos. And before you and I jumped on, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, he announced that the Department of Justice has opened a civil rights investigation into the shooting death of Alex Pretti. The FBI is also investigating as well. What questions do you want answered from both of these investigations?
Yeah, thank you for asking, and thank you for saying that. Well, I want to know, when are they going to charge these agents with murder? We need to include Renee Good in this as well. I mean, watch the video of that. She was not attacking any ICE agent. She was trying to leave the situation. And then watch the video for the murder of Alex Pretti. He was laying on the ground, being beaten when they killed him. We want fair charging decisions, and we know that we need local law enforcement involved in that. Hennepin County Attorney and the BCA here, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension here in Minnesota, they are well resourced and well acquainted with these types of investigations. We need them involved because we know that the federal government is not going to hold itself accountable. So what questions do I have? The question I have is, are we going to get a fair investigation if the federal government is investigating itself? I don't think we will. I think we need local law enforcement to investigate.
And do you think that that will happen? Is local law enforcement, how far do you think they would go in investigating this? Do you think that they would be allowed to investigate this? I mean, what are the next steps for that?
Yeah, well, thankfully here we have a good county attorney and we have a great attorney general. And so I know that they would do the work. I know they're working on things behind the scenes. I haven't been able to be personally in touch with them yet, but they would do this and they would do it fairly and they would do it right. And so I have full confidence in them. What the issue is that ICE and DHS, they have been preventing local law enforcement from being on the scene of a crime that happened in their jurisdiction. So The FBI, DHS, they need to allow local law enforcement in order to review the evidence and produce credible and real charging decisions.
I want to read two headlines from the past 2 days. This is from the Washington Post yesterday. The powerful tools in ICE's arsenal to track suspects and protesters. This is from the New York Times today. How ICE already knows who Minneapolis protesters are. Both outlets are saying that ICE is using things like different surveillance and tracking tools to track protesters and recognize them. Is that what you're seeing on the ground? Have you heard any accounts of that?
Yeah, I am seeing that. And my constituents are talking to me about this as well. And so this is an important thing. We have 21st century technology to track and to violate our rights of privacy, and our laws and our actions as government have not kept up. So we need a real change.
What do you want that change to be? And what would you say to protesters or observers who are reading this and saying, if this is true, I don't want to be in any type of database. I don't want my actions to be tracked.
Well, I think that first off, local, state, federal government, we need to be looking at the types of technology that we're using and where that data is going. And what I would say to my constituents, to my neighbors about what to do is we have to keep it up. It's dangerous what's happening. It's very dangerous. But we have to keep it up because we need to keep each other safe. We are seeing an abdication of the need for safety from the federal government. They are not keeping us safe. We as neighbors have to keep each other safe. And this is going to be a difficult thing for us. And it's going to be dangerous for some, but we really have to do it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, and this is my last question, but I'm nowhere near Minnesota, Minneapolis right now. I'm on the East Coast, and what I'm hearing from people based on what I'm watching or reading on social media from Tom Homan, like President Trump, they're saying we want to de-escalate, there's progress here, we're going to make this safer, and there's going to be what seemed to be at some point a drawdown. I've spoken with you, I've spoken to another member of city council, I've also spoken to a state senator, and the three of you have all said they're saying that, and that's great. We're not seeing that on the ground. That rhetoric isn't matching our reality. I mean, A, based on this conversation, I believe you believe that's true. And B, what do you think then is next for Minneapolis?
Well, that's a great question. We don't know what's next for Minneapolis in terms of what Trump's plans are. But I can tell you that here in Minneapolis, we as people, we as neighbors, we're going to continue to organize. We're going to continue to be talking with each other, being in communication, supporting each other. We're raising money for other families' rent right now. We're delivering groceries. We're dropping off other people's kids at school. We are looking out for each other as neighbors, and we're not going to stop. I want Tom Homan and ICE and Trump to get out of here and leave us be, but we're gonna keep helping each other no matter what they do.
Council member, I appreciate the time today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you can join me again soon, hopefully under better circumstances.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you.